Okay, my guest today's name is Nav. Nav is a new real estate agent on my team. He's already off to a huge start. He's got superior sales instincts and great people skills. And he learned those skills selling cell phones and wireless contracts. And he's had a whole career doing that. I was shocked when Nav told me what the top wireless salespeople like him make. And I wanted to hear all his stories. So thank you for doing this, Nav.
Oh, thank you, Taylor, for inviting me to your podcast.
My pleasure.
And yeah, for the cell phone industry, it's lots of sales skills there as well. People don't know much about it, but like it's a big industry, and then yeah, money is good there.
That's why I wanted to talk to you because I've seen so many of those people. I've seen them in the mall. I've seen them in the store. I've seen them at Costco, and I was always kind of curious. So first question: what kind of money are those guys making if they're really at the top of their game?
Top of the game, 100K plus for sure. Yeah, most of the average about make it about 70,000 to 100K. But like if you are the top of the line and then do really good sales and stuff, you can reach up to like 110, 125, 30 up to that.
That's amazing, and I bet you most people that listen to this have no idea that those guys have that kind of earning potential. I'm curious, how did you get into that business? Where did you start?
Honestly, in I was in Toronto before. There, I just used to work in the Albion cinema and stuff, and then I was moving to Calgary because my all the relative family is here. And then I just got this job from there only. I applied on Indeed. The starting point was at the Freedom Mobile. I don't know if people heard about it. It's a same as Rogers and stuff. So they are not that big. Their money is decent, just like basic commission, very little commission on there. But I started from there, and then eventually, like when I got into the industry, my I was also surprised the people how much money they are making when I hear about it, and then just I upgraded to the mobile shop where there are Rogers, Thales, Bell, because these are the big fishes in the industry. So Thales, Rogers, and Bell, if you're working with them, then you make good amount of money in there.
So when you started, you're working with like an individual carrier. So the only product you could sell is a product that they offer, right?
Yeah, just
And then
one
when you
product.
go,
Yeah,
and then you go to like a mobile, I guess retailer
mobile
or
shop. It's a Loblaws owned
right,
and company. Yeah, so
and then you have
they
access to work with all the major carriers,
all
right?
the major. Okay.
How long do people usually last in the business? Like you've done a pretty long time. How many years for you?
I did about 7 years. So honestly, I think in every sales industry, what I think it's same as real estate. When you told me only like top some percent of realtors stay in the business, right? All of other leave the industry, like the license takers and stuff, right? So same in there, like most of the people will only last like couple months, 6 months. Turnover is high because it's still a stressful job, and I mean like if you look at it, so if we talk about the real estate industry or car sales or anything other sales, people have in mind that they want the product, right? You will only meet a person who are thinking to buy a house, or you will only meet a person in car sales industry who is looking to buy a phone. But in here, people are there to buy milk, and they sometimes just get six phones for all of their family, right? So it's pretty stressful, and like it's a lot of things in there. Yeah.
so so you're working at Loblaws, and then you worked at Costco as well, correct?
Yeah.
That's funny you say people are in there to buy milk, and all of a sudden they leave and they've got new contracts for their whole family. So like, is the how does that conversation get started? Like I've walked past that kiosk 1,000 times. I never stopped to get a phone, but I guess maybe people are curious. Maybe there's a good deal.
Yeah, not everybody does that. So what we used to do is, let's say when I was working in Loblaws, the our kiosk was in a superstore. So people are just on the tell, like just go, just talk to them about anything, right? If there's a big bundle of grocery, you just say, "Oh, you're spending all of your money today on groceries," eh? Just make a comment, and then it start the conversation. And we used to give like, because every like Costco or superstore, they whenever you buy the phone, some of the phones have the gift card. So how we start the conversation is that, hey, like if you want, I just need your 2 minutes, and you might be able to get $100 gift card to offset your groceries. And sometimes it works, right? Like people say, okay, yeah, worth checking it, right? So we just start the conversation from there, and many other ways as well. Sometimes people have questions, right? In Costco, many time it happens, people come to us as a kiosk, they ask like, where are the car batteries? and that's it. Like they ask about it, we tell them about it, but then we start the conversation, right? Which phone you have, which carriers you have,
Oh, I
and it
love
goes
that.
from there. Yeah.
So, is the money in the hardware or in the contract?
Contract. So both of the things. So if you sell just a contract, it's less, but if you sell it with a device, it's a little bit more. But more of it, the money is like they have different tiers, right? So more you do the sales, right? Higher tier are you on, you make more money, double the commission, triple the commission. It's different compensation structure for different in like company.
Right. So you want to upsell them to a bigger contract, bigger data plan, that sort of thing, right?
No, like it doesn't matter if they are paying like $100 for a plan or $20. It's the same money for that. But yeah, more the things, more accessories you sell, protection plans, right? Device or anything, then you make more commission off that.
Right. Okay. So there's
Yeah,
spiffs if they buy a warranty, they buy a case,
yeah,
that
yeah,
sort of thing. Good margin
yeah,
and that stuff, right?
yeah.
Um, what's your typical pitch? Because I have when I used to sell cars, like we had some pretty good pitches for selling the extras, like the protection plans and the warranties. I'm curious, like what's your go to line, to get someone to buy like a really nice case or a really high end protection plan.
For the case, I have one thing, right? I don't ask them that do you want to look at the case or anything. I just bring the case and then put it in their phone and show it to them, right? How it,
Yes.
it just gives the ownership to them, right? If they have it in their hand, they most likely they're gonna like it, right? Or something like that. That's the way to go when we do it at the art store. Because like if they're buying a phone, they need a case for sure. Nobody is using, or there are some people who don't like to put a case on the phone, but not a lot of them, right?
Yeah, you're holding a $1,200
Yeah,
computer in your hand. You'd be crazy
yeah.
not to protect it. I love
It,
that you just put the case on and hand it
yeah,
to him. It's kind of like an assumptive close. It's like almost kind of like
yeah,
a test drive, right?
yeah.
Um, that's really cool. So I got to ask, are you an iPhone guy or an Android guy?
I am iPhone guy, but I switch most of the time. But I like to stay on iPhone.
You swing both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, kind of like, does the new device kind of lure someone in? They want the newest iPhone or the newest like Samsung or whatever. Does that kind of lure them in for you to get them into a better plan and then upsell from there?
Like if we have the advanced phone and stuff, or
Yeah. Like, do people come to check out the phone and then like you switch them from their carrier or that sort of thing?
oh yeah, yeah, many times.
Um,
Yeah, like people come sometimes they're just like because it's a kiosk, right? Sometimes they're just so wife is doing a grocery, husband is they're just staring at the phones, right? Just playing with it or something, and many times they just like even if they don't know about which latest phone and everything is once they look at the product they keen to know about it, right? So and it sometimes converts into the sale.
so is it important for you to have really good product knowledge on all the different hardware?
Oh yeah, definitely. Because that it's the same, right? We need to build a trust, right? If somebody asks me a question about any phone, if I don't know that, right, it's most likely they lose the confidence. They will always say, "Oh yeah, I will think about it and come back." But if I'm confident enough, product knowledge and everything, it just like answers their question and they get it. And it's not a big investment, right? Like most of the time, people say they want to think and discuss on that, but like it's still a phone, right? At the end of the day. So if sometime that's why I've said like sometimes they're there to buy milk and bananas, right? And they make the decision right away, and then they just get the phones for them.
And the other thing too is like you're probably never going to see them again, right? Like
Yeah.
do you feel like you got one chance to get a sale and then if they walk away to think about it, it's like it's over, right?
Yeah, it works both ways. Some of the yes, we don't see it ever, but some of the customer, I have one customer like he comes all the way from Olds every 2 years to me to get the phone.
No kidding.
So it just like depends on that one. You still have so many referrals in here, like and main success in this industry as well is referrals, right? If you have the referrals, you will be in the top of the line, right, for the chart. But if you don't do the referrals and stuff, you will just stay regular on the commission and stuff.
So what do you do in your business to get people to give you referrals? Like, cause I know for me, like if people had a really good experience, then they'll refer people to me. So like, what's some different stuff you do for people where they're like, oh, you got to go see my guy Nav when you get a phone.
Yeah, it's just like best deal and after sales support, man. Like people at the end of the day they're still like human, right? Like So once we get the deal, right, you just talk to them about, not about just cell phones, right, everything else, right. I just talk to them, right, make a relation out of it, right. And then I just always give my cell phone number and stuff, right. If you have any question, it's not just like the what for billing or stuff, right. If you don't know how to use a camera, how to take a better picture, just text me. I will tell you what settings to put on your phone to get better pictures. And people like it. They just ask sometime.
Yeah, so they feel comfortable with you, right?
Yeah,
Oh, that's really
because
smart.
it's a long, it's not like for even setting up the phone and everything, you are spending with that customer about 40 45 minutes, right. So in 45 minutes you have lots to talk, and lots of things which you can make them as your permanent customer.
Right. And then did you get training for that kind of thing, or did you just kind of
No,
figure
no,
that out
no.
on your own? Is that just kind of your natural skill set?
Training is only about product knowledge. They train how to
Mm.
look into the plan, how to add the device, but like selling, you don't get the training. They're like least training, I would say, because you just learn with the practice.
Yeah, and would you say that like people that can sell, like would you say that that can be learned, or are you kind of born with it?
Like, no, it can be learned. Like my industry, like I did a hotel management before, right. So I never thought I will be doing sales anytime when I was in the hotel industry. So it just like in my destiny, it just happened, right. When I moved to Calgary, I just get into the sales, and then I love it there as well. Like I love selling, I would say.
Yeah, I guess if, like you said, you're standing there for 45 minutes setting up their new device and setting up their contract, and you get a chance to talk to them and build rapport. Like if you enjoyed that, if you're a people person and you enjoy that interaction, then yeah, it's going to be a real rewarding job, right?
Yeah, it's fun, man. Like in
Is
there.
Has a lot changed about that business, or does it
Yes.
still need it? Like, can you be replaced by AI or a website, or is it still important to have someone to sit there and have a conversation and make a connection?
No, no, it can. I don't think so. It can be replaced by AI. It can be, but if it did, right, people like company will suffer a little bit, because always like it's out of 80% of the people, I would say, they are there to get sometime one phone, but we are able to give them three four, right. And it's not just like push selling or something, right. 90% of the people, they don't do that daily, right. They don't know what plan they are on, right, what data and everything. There is always something better, right. If you
Hmm.
switch from this company to that company, or which device is better for them. Like most of the people don't know, they know some things, right. They need a better camera, better battery, but there are so many product in the industry, right. Online, they can it that cannot tell you which product is right for you.
Right, right. And until someone puts it in your hand and puts a
Yeah.
case on it. um,
Yeah, I know, we always make a joke in this industry. If you need want to be a good salesperson, you need to be a good actor. So if you
right.
know the acting, you will do the sales.
So what kind of performance are you putting on for those people?
It's like so what my strategy is, right. Because I like iPhone, right, 15 like Pro Max or whatever, right.
Hmm.
Not all the people will want that one, so I always try to put myself into their shoes and act like I want to say what they want,
Right,
not like what I want to sell them, right.
right. Rather than you're trying not to project your own kind of
No,
preferences on it,
never,
because
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 that
if I
that
if
won't
I come
work,
in
right. Yeah.
like I love my Pixel phone. I've had every Pixel phone since the first one. I'm never going to buy an
Yeah.
iPhone. So like, even if like you've got a better product than that,
Yeah.
what are you going to say to me to get me into the newest one?
Hey, that's the reason why I love iPhone, but that's the reason I swing between Samsung, Google. I've used Google 7 Pro. The last phone was my Google 7 Pro, so I still know all the cool features about that one. It's not only like why I'm able to will be able to sell you, right, why I will be able to put myself into your shoes, because it's not only, I have not only seen in online what good feature your phone has, but I've used it myself, so I know what other cool things this phone can do which iPhone cannot,
Right. Yeah,
right.
that's
So I
cool.
can I can just say those stuff and you will love it.
Perfect. Well, man, I might have to come see you soon and get an upgrade. That new 9 is looking pretty good, or maybe the fold. What do you think of the foldable stuff?
Fold is good, but it just like like it fold lots of time. If you're working like the screen, it's more
Yeah, I
chances
worry
of
about
break.
that.
So because it has more chances to break, so you will need a good protection plan on that.
What's a protection plan going to cost on something like that?
It's about 249 on that.
Yeah. So, well, that's not bad. I mean, the
Yeah.
device is like over 2 grand. That's not so bad,
Yeah,
right?
more than 2 grand. Yeah.
So, what are like, just for people listening to this, like, what's the best way to get the best deal on a phone or on a data plan? Like, what are sort of the insider tips that guys like know that normal people like me
Yeah.
wouldn't know?
The best time and the best way to get it, you need to talk to the right person. So it's always there is some deals, but I would say there are some time frames when there are better deals. So for example, like March is a good deal. It's called March Madness, and then back to school is good time to buy. Black Friday and boxing time, Christmas time is always there when you get the better deals and stuff. And there are so many other stuff. So same as like area has their plans, right? On for realtors,
Yeah, that's who I'm with.
right?
Yeah.
Special plan. It's not just the area, like so those type of plan. So there are more than like 7,500 companies which gives the discount to their employees. But whenever we are talking to the people, they don't know about that. So Starbucks, Superstore, Walmart, McDonald's, like every AHS, right? City of Calgary. There's so much tons of companies. Just if you're working for them, you will get an extra discount on the plan. But people don't know
Okay.
about that.
So they're like a group plan or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody comes to you, that's probably one of the first questions you would ask, like, who do you
Always,
work
like
for?
if you have a small business GST number, second question will be which company you work for.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then as soon as you now you tell them something they didn't, you got them a discount they didn't realize they qualified for. Now
Yeah.
you saved them a bunch of money. You're the
Yeah.
hero.
Always. Yeah.
And then their wife's going to need a phone, and their three kids are going to need a phone too.
Yeah. There are always the fights like that. Like sometimes kids are at home, wife is at home, and we are trying to sell the phone. It's fights over the phone.
Oh yeah, right in front of you. I think everybody that works in sales has had to have
Yeah.
a husband and wife fight in front of them over something at some point. So you learn to be like a marriage counselor as well as a salesperson, right?
Yeah.
So are you excited about real estate? What do you think? How do you think maybe because you're off to a really good start. How do you think your experience um, in the wireless business, how do you think that might give you an advantage coming into real estate?
So two things, like in while working in the wireless industry, I would say I got two strengths. One is like good listening. That's the
Mm-hmm.
one key to sales, I think, right? Because my for me, like if I'm having a conversation for 45 minutes, I will know exactly everything what the customer said at what time frame, right? In the beginning or last. That's the one thing, good listening, you can take it to the real estate. Because every, like whenever we are talking to, like, need what kind of home they're looking for, right? What area and all that stuff. And another thing I can say, I'm like, you need to understand people better than anything else. So if you understand your customer, like who you're working with, right? What kind of like thoughts and process they have. That's another thing which I learned.
One thing you said, about kind of the acting, or at least putting yourself in that other person's shoes. That's
Yeah.
that's empathy, right? That's gonna
Yeah.
that's gonna serve you really well no matter what you sell. And no, that's a great answer. Just being able to listen to people, understand what they're asking you, and what they really want, and what motivates them. Um, and the difference now. Well, and even that the personal touch that you put on things, like, here's my cell number. You can call me if you want help with,
Yeah.
even just kind of as like free tech support. You need help with your phone, give me a call anytime. That's gonna go really far for you, where people feel like, they kind of got a friend, right? That
Yeah.
someone they can trust, that can help them out. And then now, you know, a big difference with real estate is, that's not a customer, that's a client. So that's
Yeah.
somebody who you're acting in their best interest. So um, that's a great answer. That the listening and the people skills are going to go a super long way. I'm excited for you. Um, there was another thing I wanted to ask you. Hang on a second here. Um, how often? I'm just curious about you, since you're like right in the industry. Like, do you get a new phone every year? Do you always have the newest phone?
Every 2 years, I would say. Not always.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and they come out with a new device every year. So you just like skip
Yeah.
one, get the next one,
Skip
right?
one. Yeah.
Is it worthwhile to like call and complain with your carrier, or try to get like everyone always talks about how there's a better deal for what do they call it, like the retention department or whatever. If they think they're going to lose you to another carrier, do they have access to better plans when you escalate it like that, or is that just kind of bullshit?
No, so how it works is like apparently every company gives the better deal to the new customer, not their
Right.
current customer. That's always the case. So if you are calling the retention or loyalty any department upfront, you're not gonna get anything on that. Like it's very rare. Sometime you do get through it, but most of the time it's all the deals are preferred for the new accounts only.
Right. So it's better to just switch than to try to, and that's
That's
so frustrating
I know.
as a
Even
user.
for us, it is right because for us, it's a lot easier, and it's the same money if we are upgrading rather than making a whole new account and doing all the process. Right? It's a more work for us, but apparently it is like that.
Yeah. So to break them out of their old contract, get them into a new one. But where you work, um, you have access to sell the contracts from any of the big
Yeah.
carriers, right? So so
Yeah.
you can just move them to the next one, right? It'd be like if you worked at a car dealership, but you could sell Honda and Toyota and Nissan and
Yeah.
Mazda in the same roof and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's just get you into a Honda. They have a better deal if they get a new client.
Yeah,
That
same
drives
as again.
yeah.
That's the one thing which help us to sell, right? Because we say we are not like gonna favor anybody, right? If you are with Rogers or Bell itself, right? If anybody else is giving you a good deal, we'll just let you know about that.
Yeah, you're more like a broker than a
Yeah.
salesperson in that sense,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of cool. Um, all right, well, that covered everything I wanted to ask you about. Um, I think people are gonna love the tips and the advice on wireless, and I'm really excited to see all the success you're gonna have in real estate. It's been a lot of fun working with you so far. So I appreciate you coming and doing this. And for anyone that's listening to this and they enjoyed this, they want to hear more from Nav, let me know. And if you like the podcast, be sure to subscribe. And there's gonna be lots more good stuff like this. So thanks again, Nav.
Okay. Thank you again, Taylor, for having me there. Thank you.